Okay, it says it's recording.
It does. Looks like it.
Okay, we're good.
Ready, Rob?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome to the March 10th Voorheesville Board of Education Facilities Community Meeting. Right, looks like we have a transportation update.
Yeah, so we are good to go. So there's a lot on here, and the majority of it's going to be Andy. Fair warning. So Andy is all good. So Andy, why don't we talk about transportation and the boilers?
So the factory actually came out today.
So we've had issues with the boiler.
At the new facility?
Yeah, it would stop working. We'd have to reset it. There was loud noises. So there's been a bunch of back and forth about making sure that the boiler works appropriately and constantly.
So the local vendor came out a few times, was having troubles with it. They called out the factory rep. They've been a pleasure. They're a little annoyed with the local vendor that they didn't get involved sooner. They gave me all their contact info, and they're like, if you have any further troubles, we come out in a heartbeat. They're in Pulaski, so a little bit of a ride, Buffalo, Pulaski area. But they were really great. They made a suggestion of taking out a plug valve, which is basically just a gas valve that was in line. What was installed was a standard one, so it choked down the gas line. So then it's been a cold winter, so on high fire with both boilers, when it's coming in at like night setback, basically it's starving for fuel. That's what the problem was.
So then it would shut down.
Yeah, we shut down. Yeah, shut down, and we had a few other little fine tuning issues, but they came out, suggested that we did that. Ever since then, it's been great. They came back out today, ran it through its paces. They can force it to, even though it was a warmer day, they can force it to fire on high fire, get all three devices going, and no issues today. So that was good.
Great.
It's good to have that. It's really good.
Other than that, transportation facility is basically up and running.
Yes.
That's fun.
Yeah.
All right. The next thing, now that we're heading into spring,
Yeah.
athletic facilities. Well, spring today.
Ish.
Winter tomorrow.
Yeah.
So some of our fall work is really, paying off. Right now, everything's still soupy because the infields, because the frost isn't out. But we groomed it like we're going to have the state championship, here in the fall. They kind of thought I was crazy, but now in the spring, everything's groomed. It's ready to go. As soon as the frost comes out, and the fields will be ready to go. One of the other things was core aeration of all the fields. We had a lot of snow and all that type of stuff, and having, cores pulled out of everything is just really helping it drain well. Still a little soft in some areas, another couple of days, and the field will firm up, that's for sure. So really our fall work is paying dividends now.
Any questions on prep work for spring?
You get plenty of quick dry for the fields.
We have some quick dry.
Yeah.
Yes.
One year we did not.
Oh, really? Oh. And then that's an issue, right? What is quick dry? Just so.
So it's actually baked calcified clay. People think it's kitty litter.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
kitty
dries
litter
up
will
the
smush,
Oh,
fields for softball, baseball.
all right.
but the calcified, they actually bake it so it doesn't mush.
And we're good to use the baseball field. Like it's all set and ready for everybody to use. Because last year we didn't use it because of the transportation facility.
Yeah, it's already.
Well, that's right.
Yeah,
we
this
use
is-
it all.
this is the inaugural- And yeah, so
Me,
this is
me
a
and
big deal.
me and the athletic director
For
have
that
talked.
networks.
Yeah, let's make sure the new works.
We've talked about, he's like, I know it's early to line the fields and all that stuff, but we're
Yeah.
just gonna line them next week, start lining them, even though it's cold and whatever. That way, teams aren't waiting on us. They can kind of do some of their conditioning stuff, and when the fields are ready, they can get out there and do that.
So it's like near campus now. So it says current $100,000 project. And then later on, we have next year's $100,000 project. I was just telling Robin before we came in, I was just looking, the Senate One House bill is out now and some of the key components in it. And one of the things that they're proposing in that One House bill is $250,000 outlay project.
Oh, awesome.
So that's huge. So hopefully that's one that gets, as they look at the budget and try to figure it out, that would be nice to see. I mean, we wouldn't be able to do it this year because we'd have to budget for it.
Mhm.
We don't have the funds at the moment to add another $100,000 to the budget. And next year, that would be great. So that is a positive.
Fingers crossed that we will.
Yeah. So this year,
So this year's current is, it's about 3/4 complete. The roof is done. The leaks have subsided in that area, which are great.
and what area was the leaks in? Randy?
It was over in like the middle school. You're in the back by the kitchen. You get up on top. There's kind of like the middle school, high school.
So it's that
area.
hallway.
Yes.
So that stuff, that's the dreaded hallway where there have been leaks for years.
And it
So
really-
there are currently no more leaks there.
So when a big melt off, the
And
rain and
what
all
was the good news for today on that? We were also told that our warranty now is back up and running on that roof. Because there was an issue with work that was done on it prior to us where we weren't in warranty, so they paused the warranty. So now with the new work that's been done, we're all back to warranty on that roof as well. So that's all positive.
Yeah. The only thing left to do in that part of the project is the tall ladder so that they can get on the high part of the
Oh.
pack. They kind of ran out. They did it around Thanksgiving time, and they kind of ran out of time to do that.
But it leads to the next one, which is more roof leaks.
Yeah, more roof leaks. So yeah, there's different roof leaks throughout the district. It's definitely something this spring, summer we're going to be looking into. Some of it might be membrane, but I think a lot of it is like secondary stuff. Either the way it's attached to the building or maybe cracks in the mortar, that type of stuff. Some of them are like intermittent leaks. The pack's one area that once the ladder's up there, I'll be going up there. That leak that's kind of in that hallway by the stage. The lower roof and the tall roof meet there. And it seems to me that the leak is actually coming from the upper roof, not the lower roof. It kind of splashes down and travels down that wall and hits that beam and then goes out to the front where that, leak is constant. But that's where it seems to be. It's on the upper roof, not the lower roof.
So after you get a ladder that's safe to go up on top of that roof, it'll be better for us.
And when they come back for the ladder, Titan has agreed to help us out and start looking at some areas just to help us get onto some of these leaks. I guess we've had multiple roofing contractors in there before. So these guys will be a different set of eyes. Some different ideas.
Any other questions on roof leaks or? Next thing is signage and speed bumps for out here.
We'll be putting those back out, speed bumps, unless we get, in the next 2 weeks we get snow, but we'll be putting the speed bumps back out. There's some different signage. Elementary school, it has keep right written. I put an arrow there. People, I see people constantly go through there. I don't think they read when they drive. I think they'll respond straight through the arrow. Yeah. I think they'll respond better to an arrow rather than it being written, have it both ways. There's some other signage throughout. There's a little parking lot in the back.
It's just asking for stuff there.
The new little area paved lot, we have some signage that we put there. That's pretty much it for the signage for that lot.
Any questions on that stuff? So
No.
now, elementary school.
We have the
Line backup. I know what that is. Sorry. So the line backup, it's a better way than saying sewage backup. So, we've done a lot of work on that. As you know, we replaced a large part of the trap and the line going out into it. Yesterday though, we had another backup. I would show the pictures that Andy sent, but you all probably want to eat dinner or lunch. So he did it. And what we're finding is there is a large amount of wipes and towels. So
Where are people getting wipes?
we think from like the handy wipes that people use.
Is it like the
Chlorox.
Yeah, the Clorox, so it could be like, we send in the Clorox wipes because that was on
Yeah.
the list, but
We
You're
think,
flushing Clorox wipes?
we think that could be it. So let me, here, I'm gonna pass this around so you can see it. I'm not gonna post it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You sent it to me, right? Oh, me and Kellen, right?
Mhm.
Kelly and Eyes.
so is this like we need signage?
Yeah, and Jeff's gonna work with his staff. Here's one that they
Yeah.
pulled out. And that's like a towel almost, if you can
Gosh.
tell, right?
Yeah.
But here, pass
There was
that one
10
out,
of
because
them
that was actually
connected.
stuck. That was, look at this one. That was clogging the whole thing.
Wow, a lot, that's significant.
But
Yeah.
so it's like, it's adults that are flushing these and not.
Could be,
children.
we believe it's adults, maybe kids, because we found also, Amy found shoe soles in the toilet today. And
Maybe
they,
insert.
yeah, kids flush a lot of things.
No.
Like
Really?
yeah, think about it like always, right? So like,
I wonder
I
where
mean,
you
this
guys
is,
go.
I mean, as you can tell, this is an issue that we have to work on just with
Yeah.
training
Yeah.
more so than anything else.
But this is, I mean, until several weeks ago, whatever it was, it never happened in my memory
No.
here. So this is new behavior, new.
We call it the Andy curse.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
know-
did you have this problem where you were before?
No,
You brought it with you?
no.
Like the old stuff, but I think Andy made a really good point. The old trap and the old line was really pitted. There was a lot of issues. And with the lesser amount of water that was being used by like the cafeteria and everything
Like
else.
cafeteria and stuff, so you had supplemental.
So I think by Andy saying that, I thought that was a really good point. So I really thought that was the main cause of this. And still could be, but now we're seeing that lot of stuff going down the drain.
Yeah, I mean, even our own plumbing aside, like that'll cause problems at the waste treatment place, right? Like people shouldn't be flushing.
And they cameraed that line all the way back, so there's no.
It's not like it's old.
It's old, but it's not damaged, it's not.
Oh, I
you
know.
know,
It's
like,
cast iron, it's not
Yeah.
PVC, it's,
they suggested doing the trap because the trap was an old style trap that was like a third deeper
Mhm.
and it was like old, that, the bad stuff kind of sits in the trap, so if you had any chemicals or whatever it might be, the trap kind of gets beat up. That's where everything goes by. So that we did replace the trap, we did replace sections of pipe in there, and then the old transportation bathroom they used to have troubles with in the back,
Mm.
but that's all replaced. Everything in there is replaced. They replaced that all forward, and they actually did a little bit of extra work, 5-10 feet extra, because as they're doing it, they're seeing like PVC that was globbed onto cast and all that type of stuff. So they made sure it was one continuous, beautiful piece, and plumbing was the way it was
And
supposed
it's
to
all
be.
cast
And they're not using it. They're not using the new bathroom for the nurse in the back. That's not being used. So it's really just
Hmm.
particular, set of laterals off the one side of the building.
we have to do some education for our staff and our students, and just revisiting appropriateness and usages, and it could be kids pulling it.
Yeah.
We don't really know for sure, but education is gonna be key on this one. So, but every time it comes out, I just, it's a budgetary issue, right? Because not only is that, we're calling in a jetter, we got a bill for it.
Yeah.
There's impact. So, yeah, not great. So capital project, let's just talk about that real fast. They're doing univent work at the capital project. So that means the new classrooms are getting the univents, not the AC. I did find something out that I wasn't super excited about, and I've been working with them to take care of it. Where the new cafeteria is, which is the transportation facility, we lost a roof, right? On that roof, right, because they're replacing it. They got the whole ceiling and everything's got to be replaced with a new conference room and hallway is going to be. On that area used to be air conditioning units. Here we go. Those air conditioning units did the library and also help support 2 other rooms up on the 3rd floor. Problem is that currently those aren't there. So I'm pushing them to get the roof on and get those up so we can have air conditioning. Because right now, the way it's working is I'll have less air conditioning come spring
Yeah.
than I did last year, even though I'm supposed to have more air conditioning by the time it's done. So I said, just give me exactly what I had last year. So I'm pushing very, very hard for them to get the roof done, get all those things on. And they're telling me that we're gonna have it, but there is a possibility that I might be less air conditioning than there was.
Has the schedule slipped further? Because when we last heard, it was,
Let me
you know,
explain.
okay.
I
Because
will explain.
this should not have been a problem. right?
Well, no, it was
Because
a
the roof's gotta
problem.
be on before the rest of the stuff is
Here,
done.
let me explain. So there was a beam issue
Mm-hmm.
and then it went to shop drawings and now they gotta wait for the casters to come in to go on top. So they are getting in Binghamton, they're getting developed. So the roof joists that go over the top of the roof, they are currently in shop drawings to be developed. So somewhere there was a little bit of a delay in getting that out by a couple weeks or so, I think. So now it's gonna be about a 6-week turnaround. So by May, I should have the roof back on and the AC should be on, so we should be good. So it's that 5-6 week turnaround that we're waiting. So it's casters, they had to redo them, new shop drawings, get them up, and then it's the whole joist itself for that part of the roof. So what,
So we're,
Yeah.
we're not looking at like beginning of June, that all being done.
well, we are, so there's 2 different spots,
Okay.
right? So let's explain it. So the spot, you come into the building and you have the old entranceway, right? So the old new main entranceway, which is you go to the small gym or the big gym. You take a right going down there, the cafeteria, that area, that hallway is supposed to be released to us to go around the building by the end of May, by early May.
Oh,
So that,
okay.
yeah, so that will be released to us. The art room and band room are gonna be released to us. The cabinetry for the music rooms is delayed, indoors. But they're getting us temporary doors so we can get in there and fire code will be up and we'll have all that stuff. So they're gonna release that area to us. The office area will be done, but we won't be able to get into the office area because the back end of the office area is the new hallway and conference room. That area has a separate, that had to be completely tore down and rebuilt. That area won't be done until July. So that along with the cafeteria
So
in
we're,
July.
okay. I think,
But May for the majority of it, June for the office area. Basically, that's when we're having all the furniture brought in. The nurses area will be in June, but that one component to that office is gonna be later.
okay. I thought there are, I mean, it's been a while since we had one of these, and it was probably one of the days, but I thought the original other delay for finishing the cafeteria and everything was June. And all of that was gonna be done in June,
Sure.
understanding it like early June, and then we wouldn't be in it until the end of the year because of
Yeah.
inspections. and
No,
stuff.
now it's July.
Okay,
Cafeteria is July.
so July.
Yeah.
All right, are we at any risk of having that stuff slip to
No. I don't know.
where it's not gonna be ready for
No.
the school year?
No, we did 2-week look aheads now, so they just started that 2 weeks ago, so every 2 weeks we're getting look aheads. They are really working, I mean, it's constant work, like
Mhm.
that April one will be done. It's small things, it's backorder things, and it's cabinetry, it's things like that. The cafeteria is moving really along, they're doing the concrete, they're doing all the work in there. And so we should be all good on all of those things, and a lot of work is happening, so we'll be ready for the opening of the school year. The art and music rooms, I have no problem with. The offices will have no problem with. They're putting the canopy footers in next week
Mhm.
for the new canopy, for the new entryway in. So there's a lot of work happening. It's somebody in my house. But then the cafeteria itself is gonna still be July.
Okay.
Some of the other things that they did in there, they've done 6 unit events, and then over April break, they're gonna do 3 more unit events in those different classrooms, a couple of music rooms, and they've done quite a few unit events in the classrooms, which is nice.
So for schedule wise, like for July, like we have full C of O for July and we're in there and it's 100% for July, or?
No,
is that
it'll be
like
August.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be August.
Yeah.
Cause they gotta do punch lists, they gotta do everything else, like, you need to, and then even then, August is gonna have, but we still got the stairwell, we still got the AC, we still got the other components that are coming in that were already planned for August.
Mhm.
And then you have the outside work that has to get done. So the goal is August, right? It will all be done by August, all of us in already. It's, some backorder stuff happening going on right now, which is pushing us a little bit behind. But the cafeteria itself, as far as I know, there's really no issue with the cafeteria, correct? Roof is done, everything's done. We're waiting on ethos colors on the side of the building. Really,
The window they were saying was pretty close to being.
Yeah.
Being on the line.
so there's a lot of good work happening. It's that right now, transportation facilities here, the building is here, and then there's that little divot in between the two. That behind it, there's no roof. There literally is, it's completely open. You can't see that right now, but that's exactly how it is. That's where the new roof has to go on. The new CMU is there, so we have the new wall to go in, but then they have to do concrete all around that. They have to do walkways on the back for fire code and fire issues, so there's still a lot more work to be done. But the music room and art room areas, that will be open by May. We should be able to get in there. So. The water main, we're getting quotes on that still, so we are gonna be doing that water main. That's gonna be another issue in the summer. We're gonna have to shut down and do all that, but we will update the water main. I want to go back to some of the alternatives that we talked about. There was a whole listing of alternatives that we said, oh, we'd love to do. I don't know if there's gonna be money for any of those alternatives.
Okay.
The one thing that I think we can do, and I really want to push for, and Colleen and I have talked about this, and looking at it, and maybe we even look at it in other ways, is flooring. Like the second floor and the third floor, we're getting a beautiful floor on the first floor of the hallway of the building. That second floor and third floor would really benefit from a new floor and a nice paint job. Like if we could do that on top of it, just to kind of make the whole building cohesive, I think that would be like, it's not really super expensive. If we have any little bit of money that we can utilize for that, depending on how everything turns out, I'd love to see flooring.
Yeah.
Like I think that's an easy one that we could do. They could do it over the summer, and it would. Also, the upkeep of those floors is great because you don't wax them, you don't strip them, right? It's just water, so it saves on man hours and everything else. So long term,
Plus the uniformity, some niceness in all three of the hallways. We've been in each one of the hallways, this whole project, so it'd be nice to kind of finish them off and get out of there. Yeah.
The first and second floor of the K1 wing and the 2-3 wing, that's a terrazzo. It's beautiful. Like you're not going to touch that, right? But that other one, it would be nice to get the cracked floor gone and all those other things. So, kind of hoping that we can go there, just not for sure about it. Storage building.
The storage building, we kind of hammered out some of the final details, the architects wanted. One was a frost wall and, one knee wall with some frost protection for the slab. So we worked with, building, our, building supplier, and they're supposed to get the drawing back to us with this week, early next week. So that we can get that back to the contractor so that we can make some changes on the slab. Originally, they were gonna try to do an Alaskan slab.
Which is basically just a flat piece of concrete.
You have kind of like, 3-foot walls that kind of go around it, but it wasn't enough frost protection. So they were wanted frost protection, and then putting a 18-inch knee wall will help protect it if like the snow comes off the roof. It'll hit, a hard cement wall instead of hitting, treated metal. So the chances of damage, and then over time as it splashes, water splashes around the building, it'll hit the cement, which is way more hardy than metal paneling. So they help not rot with it.
And if you happen to look now, we have a beautiful road that goes from our basketball court all the way around our building because they were transporting materials and got stuck and put giant divots and holes into my. Yeah, it's beautiful. They are going to fix that. I said to them this morning, I go, can't have a road where it's not supposed to be. We have kids going in on that, so they're going to fix that as soon as possible. That wasn't pretty. Any questions on elementary school? All right. Key systems.
For the key system, I've been working with Dormer Cabra to get a key hierarchy. We have one at the high school, but the elementary school, they only have a few submasters. So normally you have like a master for the building, and you have like athletics, science, so each one of them will have submasters.
This is mine. Hold on. That is Andy's. So eventually, over time, because it can be very expensive, we want to really streamline the key usages. So we can, get down to
Ideally 2 keys. The transportation is on a key, submaster for this building, and then the elementary school would have their own master. So really you would have two masters, and then all the rest of them, different submasters for each one of the buildings. Definitely would be a nice upgrade for security and, different emergencies that you have with firemen and different stuff. I mean, yeah, they have an axe so they can get into their room, but be nice if they only had a little squirt in the room instead of breaking the door down and then having to put the fire out as well.
Here's an
So,
example. To get into my office in the morning, it's one key for the door out here, one key for the door that comes into the office, and a different key to get in my office. So it's 3 different keys for me to go 10 feet. So
I don't mind the extra key for the office. That's kind of designed for
Yeah.
superintendents, but more than that, it's kind of a lot.
Andy's working on it. And again, think about our teachers and all the other things and all the emergencies. Just it's a good idea just to start getting that under control. Next year, $100,000 project. We are looking into that again. We flip flop every year. This year was high school, so next year will be elementary. Andy is looking at some possible ideas for that.
It could be team for the district, security system. There's a lot of different avenues. for the-
Roof repair.
Roof repairs.
Or possibly even the flooring. So we gotta look at it and do like a little analysis of which one's gonna be best, but that decision is gonna have to be made by like the end of April, so we can make a decision moving forward. All right, next thing, building condition survey. So it's due in 2027. We are working with Mosaic Architects to start that in 2026. So they will be beginning that in the summer. And then they're also going to do a 5-year plan for us as well. So that they're going to do a full audit of our district. And then they're going to look at what we need to get done within 5 years. So, things that we can do on our own, things we can do in $100,000 projects, things that, are going to be maybe part of a new capital project that we're going to need to get done. Things that we can target grant money. So that 5 years is going to be really important for us. I think that's going to be a benefit.
And you guys have been with the district a lot longer than me, so if you guys have areas of concern too, please bring them up so I can, the architects kind of go through their thing, but if we have areas that are real need, we can put their nose right in it so that they make sure that they don't miss it as well. The sooner that they're involved and the more that they're involved, the better, reports we're gonna get out of it. So it's nice having you here with this construction project because we can get started on it and get right into it.
Last year, when we did this before with the last BCS, the track was one of those things that in 5 years we had it in order to make sure that we could get another 5 years out of it. We resurfaced it, we did all that work on it. So the track is going to be one of those things that the warranty's up, it's expired, it's the life of the track it's over. We know that. So that is going to be something that the district's going to have to look at, but on the BCS.
Mhm.
So we do know there's going to be site work that we're going to have to look at, but we also have to make sure that we get aid. So we have to offset any of that site work with inside work. So roofing, flooring, upgrades to the facilities and buildings that we can offset in instructional spaces is going to be really important to do a balance of site work. Questions on that? All right, so summer is coming. Eventually, not like winter is coming, summer is coming. We are looking at, Andy's gonna start compiling things for our people to work on, like little projects that we want to focus in on, things that we want to do. Yes, fields are always gonna be a big issue. We're looking at possibly looking into hiring some part-time staff in the summer, maybe a couple of student workers to help with some of that work. Are there any things that you want us to look at as summer projects? Like certain painting things, maybe upkeep of things, like anything that you want us to consider as a board saying, maybe you should beautify this, maybe you can look at X.
And we don't need an answer.
Yeah. We've done repointing in the summer of some bricks that were falling. We've done that in the past. Power washing is something like, like some of the building looks bad, like we can do power washing, painting, things that our guys can do, our people can do.
One of the things, we're gonna have probably summer school up here, with replacing a water main and different things.
When you are gonna have some.
Yeah, it's pretty much a done deal. So there's gonna be some classroom moving, there obviously because we're not area with this other stuff. But some of the smaller things are like just some of the bathrooms just freshen up a little bit. The athletic wing. There's the heater in there. It's a little rusted. Sand, repaint, a little paint on the walls. Some of the ceiling tiles, replaced. Just freshen it up just a little bit. It's small. The paint is relatively inexpensive. It's just a little bit of time and labor. there's bathrooms throughout this building and the elementary school that kind of just need to be freshened up. So that's one of my ideas.
Would that also include the building with the bathrooms at the satellite fields?
I haven't even been in there, but
Okay.
I understand that that kind of needs some.
Attention.
Yeah, the water,
That's a-
the water for that building, the way it comes in, it kind of has a spot where it's kind of above ground.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna see what we have over there, but you know, the season here is kind of a pickle, up in the Northeast. We're not, Georgia where you can just go out and play at this time, we're kind of creatures to the weather. And then to try to have people practice over there and not have bathrooms. So one of the things I'm gonna try to do is like see if I can get some heat tape on it, insulate it, so that that section that's above ground and kind of in the middle of nowhere, can when we get 20-degree weather, we're not worried about it freezing and popping a
Yeah.
line. Same with the bathrooms. See about getting a little heater in there just to keep them above freezing so that we're not being on ice cubes type of thing. But we have a facility over there. It'd be great for them to use that, or you kind of keep the game facilities nice over here, and having real bathrooms. I mean, you need to pee, you need to pee. Unfortunately, so there is some work over there that we need to do. This spring and summer.
If there's anything you can think of or not as you're walking around or you're picking up kids or just think about that, shoot me a text, shoot me an email, say, hey, did you guys think about this? And we'll put it on our list.
Is there a lot more like plow damage and stuff this year? It just seems like, to the lawns, the grasses.
We've had a real winter this year. We really had a real winter. It's stayed around, the snow stayed around, so there's definitely some plowing
Yeah,
landscape.
but I noticed that today, this morning, when I drove into the elementary school, and that whole front of the elementary school just got, I think, from construction.
You got construction, so we normally push the snow another way, and then now we have to push it another way, and they went out today and picked up a lot of trash and stuff just around the buildings from stuff melting and all that. So they went around today and took advantage of the nice warm day.
Anything else? All right, the last one. So there was a conversation about Snack Shack power, and water.
So when I first got here, in July-ish, they just took down the building. And one of the things that the construction manager showed me was a small box that used to be in the building with a wire that was kind of attached on and ran to the Snack Shack. I don't know who installed it when it was installed, but it really was not up to code. Basically goes to short, direct short. They kind of discovered that and the water issue. Like there's a bank of 13,200 volts underneath. Like you see that one smaller high voltage line in the back. Well, basically those lines go all the way to that substation on the other side of the road. So the water line is very shallow. It was an irrigation line. Should have been, opened up, drained out every year. My guess is probably not. It probably was not done. We do the irrigation here. We run a big Ingersoll air compressor. We blow out all the lines. Like that's the only way you keep it from freezing and popping. So when they put it back together, there was leaks elsewhere other than where they disconnected it from the building type of thing. So really, the electric and the water are not operational for that shed at this time. Really, the suggestion if water and electric needs to go out there, we should run lines for both out there. I know the people at the Snack Shack talked about more than a 20 amp circuit. That's what they originally had out there. I mean, basically, you get a coffee maker.
We need more than that. 20 amp circuit.
Basically, you get a coffee maker out of it. If you have a coffee maker or a microwave,
How about a refrigerator?
I was just
in a
gonna say,
refrigerator, yeah,
Need the freezer.
it's kind of like
Well, yeah, we're missing those freeze
That's
pops.
what I mean, it's. Got to have it.
Coffee maker, fridge, and
so. If you did like a
Microwave.
60 amp 3-phase, it sounds like a lot, but it's really not.
It's expensive.
Circuit for refrigerator, it is. If you're gonna run, one line, you might as well run, the 3-phase out there.
It was funny because I just picked up the phone. the Kiwanis actually just wrote back, Amy, that makes a lot of sense. He wrote that, now I understand exactly what the issue was. And then the joke on here is, I'm assuming it's not cheap, right? Like, that's the same question that we would have, is none of this is all gonna be expensive.
I mean, I can get price quotes if you guys would like price quotes.
Where's that money coming from? I can see the thing. You should never play poker, ever, ever,
Bigger
ever.
gap, all I keep hearing in my head is cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah.
Let me look for grants. Because there's gotta be grants out there for community foundation, community supports, that we could look at something for this. So there's gotta,
Kiwanis used to, well, from my experience years ago, Kiwanis used to do a lot of fundraising.
they
and
do,
grants.
they have fundraising, they have abilities,
that's
and if we're
here.
partnering with Kiwanis, so they have it, but again, their funds go to the program. Right, like they literally support that program,
Yeah.
like fully funded for the community. I don't think kids pay at all, right? Right? It's been a very long
They
time.
do.
Yeah.
It's
not
a-
very
It's
much,
not,
right?
I mean, it's not expensive,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I mean, you get, you know, there's shirts and stuff. and-
Right, but I mean,
Yeah.
we can look at Kiwanis helping support that, so
Yeah.
it'd be something of that.
I can get some pricing too, just to get a
But-
rough ballpark to see
Yeah, but
where
let me-
we're at.
Let me look at grants, there's gotta be,
I mean, 'cause how far is that from, I mean, that's it's hundreds of feet. So like a school of, I mean, even if you go to Home Depot and buy it and roll it out, I mean, that's still, that's a pretty big chunk of change.
yeah, it's a chunk change.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be no joke.
And if the 13,200 bank wasn't there, it'd be one of those things where, you know, I would try to do most of it in-house.
Right, and I mean, the thing is that we, as a district, we don't need that, right? The district can use, we can have a speaker, we can have, you know, it would be nice to have the speaker out there for field days, so there's things that we could use it for, but we don't need
Yeah.
a refrigerator, right? That's not,
No.
the district doesn't need it. The district could use an amp out there, absolutely. You know, we could use a speaker, we could use a loudspeaker, there's, those things for field day absolutely could be doable. So there's, you know, there is use, but is there water to the garden?
That's where it's kind of, it's definitely got some holes in
Is it currently work? We don't know, right? 'Cause we
it.
haven't.
No, when you turn it on, there's still water flowing, even though.
To the garden?
At the end. You know what I'm saying? If you turn on the water, you'll hear water.
Oh,
It's still running. Yeah.
Does it have an old spigot out there?
No,
Or
there's,
is it just the hose going?
it was a hose going out to there.
Because we'll
There
want
was-
water for the
There
garden.
was, you know, irrigation out there, so there was different heads and stuff like that, yeah.
Would the farm to school grant support water to the garden?
We're working through costs right now, it may be a possibility.
Right? We're looking at a farm to school grant for a couple things, and that might be something we could maybe try to build into it, water back to the garden.
Yeah.
Mhm. I don't know, let me look for grants. Let me see what's out there.
Hmm.
Because it's a community group foundation, it's community schools,
Mhm.
so I think we could do something.
I think the only stumbling block in here is, you know, the athletic component of it, do you know what I mean? Like a lot of grants don't support, you know, like youth.
Yeah.
needs or athletic. You know.
Yeah.
needs.
No, you're right. Let me see if, you know, well. I'll look. and figure out something. Anything else that we've missed? Anything that you want us to go over?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Then we are officially done.
All right.